Alice noticed something strange in Wonderland. Snowflakes fell on teapots and talking flowers, and the rivers made little cracking sounds. "If this winter never ends," she whispered, "Wonderland will freeze forever." Alice knew just the friend to ask for help. She stepped through her looking-glass path, the one that sometimes opens to faraway places. On the other side, she found Elsa, the Snow Queen, watching gentle snow outside her window. "Alice," Elsa said with a smile, "your cheeks are pink from the cold. What's wrong?" "Wonderland is in trouble," Alice said. "Please come with me." Elsa took Alice's hand. Together they hurried back through the looking-glass path. The glass rippled like water, and in a blink they were sliding down a snowy rabbit hole, laughing as they twirled to the bottom. The White Rabbit met them, shivering in 3 coats. "Oh dear, oh dear, the tea is frozen at 4 o'clock forever." He held up his pocket watch, which was covered in frost and stuck to 1 time. They reached the Mad Hatter's table. Teacups had icicles for handles. The March Hare wore 2 scarves and a teapot on his head for warmth. "Time has gone terribly chilly," the Hatter said. "Our jokes are freezing before we can finish them." A grin appeared in the air. Then the Cheshire Cat, painted in frost and moonlight. "Winter smiles wide," he purred. "But its heart is lonely." His tail swished and left a trail of sparkling snow. They hurried to the Queen of Hearts' garden. Red roses were trapped in glassy ice. The Queen stamped her feet. "I command this winter to stop at once, but it does not listen. Fix it, or it's off with the icicles," Alice curtsied. "Your Majesty, we will try." Elsa touched the ice and listened. "The snow is whispering," she said softly. "It says a clock is stuck and a heart is cold." "The frost clock," the White Rabbit gasped. "It keeps the seasons turning. If it's frozen, winter won't move on." "Then we must find it," Elsa said. The Dormouse peeked out from a sugar bowl. "Map," he squeaked, handing Alice a crinkly paper with shining blue lines. The Hatter poured steam into the air, and the steam-shaped arrows that pointed the way. They reached a tiny door sealed with clear ice. Beside it stood a bottle that said, "Drink me," and a cake that said, "Eat me." "I remember these," Alice said, "but we need a key." Elsa formed a small, bright key from a snowflake and turned the lock. Inside the door lay the tulgey wood, quiet and white. Snow lantern fireflies bobbed like tiny moons. The trees whispered, "Hurry, hurry," in the breezes. They came to a candy river, frozen solid, with striped fish stuck mid-swim. "Poor things," Alice said. Elsa tapped the ice. It softened just enough for the fish to wiggle free, then hardened again into safe stepping stones. Beyond the river, a chessboard valley spread out in black and white squares. A talking rook hopped toward them. "Checkmate to the chill," he clicked. "Follow me." Rows of knights and queens slept under frosted blankets. At last, they stood before tall gates made of winter stars. A riddle stone glowed. What warms without fire? Alice thought of her mother's hugs. "Kindness," she answered. The gate swung open with a silver sigh. Inside, the frost clock towered over them, all gears and glittering snow. At its base knelt a figure made of ticking light, time, with frost on his eyelashes. He tried to move the hands, but ice held them fast. Time's voice sounded like soft bells. "A heart of winter turned lonely," he said. It curled around the clock to feel close to someone, and now it will not let go. They climbed a spiral stair. In the middle of the tower hung a crystal heart, clear as a drop of water and pale as dawn. Inside, a small snow spirit slept, hugging itself, its breath fogging the glass. Elsa placed both hands on the crystal. "Hello," she whispered. "I know what it is to feel alone." A gentle light shone from her palms, not hot, just warm like a promise. Alice sat by the heart and told a story. She described a summer picnic with lemonade, the sound of bees, and friends who shared cookies and songs. She wrapped her scarf around the crystal as if tucking it in. A tiny crack appeared in the ice, like a waking eyelash. The snow spirit stirred, but below, the card guards marched in. "The Queen orders the problem smashed," they shouted, raising candy canes like spears. Elsa lifted a shimmering shield, thin as soap but strong as truth. "Please wait," she called. "Smashing is quick, but listening is kinder." Alice nodded. "Give us one more minute of time." The Queen of Hearts arrived, robes rattling. She opened her mouth to yell, then looked at her roses, trapped and silent. "1 minute," she said gruffly. "Make it a warm one." Time handed Alice a silvery ribbon. "Wind the clock with hope," he said. Alice climbed inside the gears, small as a thimble after a sip of drink me. She tied the ribbon around the main spring and pulled. Tick, tock, tick, tock. The frost clock began to move. The crystal heart glowed brighter. The snow spirit opened its eyes, wide and shy. It fluttered out of the crystal like a white moth. The room was still chilly, but no longer biting. "I was lonely," it whispered, voice soft as falling snow. "I wanted the world to stay with me." The Hatter clapped. "Then let us stay together. A warm thoughts tea." He poured stories instead of tea. The March Hare told a silly joke. The White Rabbit remembered the day he made it on time. Laughter rose like sunlight. The Cheshire Cat purred a rhyme so crooked it made everyone giggle. The Queen tried to hide a smile, but it escaped and warmed the room like a candle. The Snow Spirit listened and smiled back. Feathers of frost lifted from walls and drifted away like feathers from a pillow. The rivers in the distance began to run, chuckling over pebbles. "Thank you," the spirit said, growing bright. It became a small snowbird with silver wings. "I will bring gentle snow for skating and stories, but I will not hold the world too tightly again." Outside, Wonderland changed. Flower beds bloomed with sugar roses, and beside them, smooth ice paths gleamed for twirling. It was winter and spring together, each taking turns. The Queen of Hearts cleared her throat. "Very well," she announced. "New rule. Hearts must stay warm. Also, hot cocoa for everyone." No one argued with that. She gave Alice a red rose that never wilted, and Elsa a crown-shaped snowflake that never melted. "You have done well," she said, trying not to smile too much. Time bowed, now shining freely, gears humming like happy bees. "Seasons turn again," he said. "Visit when you wish. Bring stories." Alice and Elsa walked back to the looking-glass path. The chessboard valley waved. The candy river burbled. The Hatter tossed them a biscuit shaped like a sun. At the rabbit hole, the White Rabbit checked his watch and laughed. "Right on time," he said. The Cheshire Cat's grin floated by. "Warm journeys," he purred and faded into sparkles. They stepped through the glass and returned to Elsa's snowy window. The world outside was calm and bright. Alice squeezed Elsa's hand. "Thank you for bringing warmth," she said. Elsa smiled. "Thank you for bringing me," she replied. "Kindness turns winter into wonder." Alice tucked the never-wilting rose into her pocket. Elsa pinned the snowflake to her cloak. They promised to visit each other again, in sunshine or snow. And from that day forward, whenever Wonderland felt a little cold, its people shared a story, a laugh, or a kind word. The snow would listen, and it would soften, because kindness can melt even the coldest winter.